Hi everyone, welcome to Anything with Kani, where we talk about film, fashion, music, and just about anything. And for today's episode, I invited Nika and Jeremy from Vowels the Orbit. I had so much fun doing this episode. We got into a lot of different topics actually. We talked about Jeremy and his experiences fighting, and Nika and her advertising life. So I hope you guys like it, and let's get into it. That's true. Actually, with what I notice right now, like one of the art industries that aren't affected that much is yung advertising
Mm.
department. But then like a lot of like prod houses are like closing down because a lot of them can shoot.
Uh, they can't shoot. But
Exactly.
I mean, we're affected a little bit in a
Mm-hmm.
way na some of our clients who do, parang we had productions that were supposed to be done,
Yeah.
then syempre na-cut. So like those clients aren't really doing anything, or we're trying to think of stuff
Mm-hmm.
to do for their brand that doesn't require shooting outdoors. Pero yeah, you're right na parang I mean, at least we're not entirely, like not working. We're
Yeah,
just thinking
exactly.
of things to do. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think a lot of clients right now are not making money as well. So
Mm.
then yeah, so it's I think they're rethinking their finances in terms of the distribution of it, of like should it go to certain services or should it go to like how to advertise our brand in a way. And yeah, how about you,
Yeah.
Jeremy? What have you been doing?
Nothing much. And more or less, also I'm creating stuff sa kitchen. I'm learning new recipes, but at the
Yeah.
same time, I'm trying to be productive as I can because
Mm-hmm.
it's really depressing yung
Mm-hmm. That's true.
situation.
Yeah.
Because, of course, as an artist and as a band, I'm always used to going out and driving for 2 hours and play in front of people and interact. But right now, uh, gising, tapos gonna garden the the plants and water and stuff. Then balik sa loob ng bahay. I'm gonna
Yeah.
eat and sleep again.
I know
It's like that every
the
day.
routine is crazy. I think because for me myself, I'm not used to a certain routine, but in this situation, you kind of get locked into it, and then I mean, it's kind of nice in a way that you kind of can take care of yourself better, but it has a mental toll to
Yeah,
it. Na,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
that
So like, I think going outside is one of the things like what us artists like needs to like keep our sanity in a way or keep our
yeah.
inspiration filled. And I think just being in a situation where you can't do that at all and you don't have a choice kind of puts you in a light where everything is affected, and it just spirals down, and parang it has a domino effect to everything that you're doing.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly.
And that's why, like,
Kasi,
even though we're inside the house,
Mhm.
we can kind of like go out for some air. I mean, I feel like ang lahi ng difference if you do
Yeah.
go out, you step outside of your house, even though you don't
Yeah.
like go far or travel somewhere. Pero
That's true.
that air that you breathe.
That's true. Even even when you go out to like to get groceries or something, there's already change of environment. It's not the same as how it used to. People are
Uh,
kind of walking like zombies or like robots already outside, na parang trying to get home as fast as possible. And I think it's kind of the realities that we kind of have to live with after this whole COVID thing, because definitely it's not, I don't think it's going back to normal. Yeah.
it's scary, actually. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't like, personally. I don't go grocery shopping,
Mhm.
but I did go out once.
Mhm.
I forgot. I think I picked up something, or um, yeah, and it does feel weird. But I'm sure Jeremy can relate to that.
yeah, siguro like for 2 weeks I go out 2 to 3 times.
Yeah.
Pero for the groceries, it's like 1.5 week, and
Mhm.
it's so weird kasi Usually, ako naman talaga gumagawa ng groceries ko kasi ako lang dito sa bahay.
Yeah.
Then, of course, the usual pag, yung before the coronavirus happened, the usual is go to the mall, window
Yeah.
shopping muna, then groceries, the
That's true.
normal event. Now it's weird. It's like, alam mo yung parang sa movie scenes na may nag-take over na robots and aliens sa
Yeah.
systematic lahat ng galaw.
Yo, that's true. That's
Everything's
true.
The
sobrang,
It
sobrang weird,
the
and
format is weird.
there's a sense of panic, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a feeling of being scared outside,
Yeah. That's true.
as in
yeah,
literally,
Mm-hmm.
i-apply mo yung social distancing, not just physically but
Mm-hmm.
also in your mind, na even when someone sneezes or someone coughs, parang
Yeah.
oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, ganun yung pakiramdam. It's
I
weird.
know. Even like going out, like because I go grocery in SNR because it's one of the groceries that doesn't have lines that much compared to like other
yeah.
groceries. And whenever we go to the grocery, it's just it's like you're kind of in a bubble where you should not let people touch you or even bump you in a way, but it's hard because there's so much people in the groceries getting the same goods and just like going around. So I think that part of it is hard.
Crazy.
Yeah. I think I was just watching this film. I was rewatching it at least. It was Ready Player One. Have you guys
Oh
seen
yeah,
Oh,
it?
never
Yeah.
heard of it.
Yeah,
I never heard.
it's a great film.
it's a nice film.
It's a crazy film. Like I think it's it's one of those timely films like for what's going on right now. It's because they kind of found an escape through virtual reality, right? That's the whole concept of it because the world just
Oh,
stopped trying to better itself. And I kind of find it weird because I'm seeing a bunch of my friends or certain people I follow on Instagram just like trying to escape reality by like playing video games or even do VR. So this it kind of mimics. It's kind of one of those times where art or life mimics art in a way.
yeah, I get it. Yeah,
Yeah. You know,
right.
with
I feel speechless because it's crazy.
yeah, that's true. You know, with that going on, and I was just talking to Top Nazareno as a director, and we were
Oh,
discussing how there's gonna be a difference in the outputs of art and
oh,
how and what stories are gonna be told in songs, movies,
mm.
paintings, and all. And do you think with the current situation of right now, do you think it's gonna affect what you guys will be releasing or what you guys will create as like what you guys will create in terms of the music that you will be producing?
I think so. Like in terms of messaging, like
Mm-hmm.
personally or in our band, um we did go that route where we're talking about love and all of that, although
Yeah.
we don't want to like surround our songs around that. But now that we're transitioning to this phase, I
Mm-hmm.
feel like um it's really gonna be about hope or kind of like trying
Yeah.
to cheer people up given the situation. I did write something recently that talked about like me being up at midnight and like catching
Mhm,
myself still being awake. So it's like
mhm,
I do feel like it will mimic what's happening now. And parang even not in music kasi I do like art stuff. So I have this ongoing project called Lockdown Lookbook. So
Mm-hmm. Mm.
people,
Yeah,
since
I've
we're
seen
all
that.
in our
Yeah, that's
since we're
dope.
inside our homes, like we don't really care about what we look like, except when we're like in calls like this or we're seen by other people. So the project revolves around that, like what we look like at home, like what we actually look like,
Yeah,
and
that's cool.
and that's I agree that it will affect the art that we create.
Yeah.
it's really weird, but sa akin, it's gonna change, of course,
Mm-hmm.
kasi everything that we do, it's based on hugot. I mean,
Yeah.
hugot in general means, for me kasi hugot is inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
Kahit anong emotions, kahit anything. So, yun nga, I agree with Nick. Anything na nagsusurround ngayon. I even did a rap lyric, but
Yeah.
it's kind of social-political kasi
Yeah.
gets naman,
Of
may
course, of
ganong
course.
moments that you'll discover new talents as well.
That's true.
I think the creativity can be boundless too kahit nakakulong tayo dito.
Mm-hmm. That's
Kasi
true.
with the virtual world, it's more easy for us in a way to explore yung mas malayo, yung
Yeah,
mas
it's very
kayang
accessible.
gawin.
Uh-huh.
Yes, yun yung sa akin. So, depende na lang talaga sa mood and yung mental feeling mo or emotions at that time. Kung
Yeah.
okay ka, may magagawa kang maganda. Pero if you're having a lot of thoughts na negative, it's also hard to battle it to be creative.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's kind of like one of the reasons why I started like this thing in the first place when I started the podcast. It's just for me, uh, how I get inspired is I talk to people. Like that's how I try to formulate stories. How I try to keep myself updated with the current situation of everything, like in terms of love, terms of like sports and anything in general. This is what talking to people is one thing that makes me inspired. So right now, like this, doing like podcasts, having different artists involved is one of the things that's keeping like my sanity in terms of being continuously inspired because it gives me something to work on in the first place.
Yeah.
That's that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's why for me I really love talking to people like whenever like I link up or even when we were working together for the music video we worked on, we just I think we got into so much stories
Yeah.
beyond even what the music video was going to be about, but just about life in general and how things will go. And I feel like you are right about how the digital world is creating this landscape where everything is pretty accessible at the moment,
Uh-huh.
but the hard part about it is the feeling that there is something going on that's wrong with the world. And
Yeah.
yeah, you Nika, you brought up this thing about um just like the mental play of it and how it's affecting everyone here. And
Uh-huh.
there's a lot of times where you kind of get caught like even if you have nothing to do, it's kind of hard to sleep for some reason like at this moment. Like
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That's true.
I always sleep like at 5 a.m. or like 4 a.m. right now, even if even if I'm
Wow.
tired or anything. It's just like
Yeah.
it's you kind of think a lot about stuff about the future and
Mm-hmm.
all of that and what's gonna go down or what's gonna happen, like especially I think we're just a few weeks away before the general community quarantine is gonna go
Right.
down, right? So yeah, so
Yeah, yeah.
I guess like just to like lighten up the mood and we're going kind of like this dark path
Kind of
on
sad
with
right
the
now.
COVID thing. Yeah, just to like lighten up the mood. Kind of want to know more about Vows the Orbit. You guys' band and how did it start? Like I remember the first time I heard about it was I was talking to Jeremy. This is like I think 2 years or 3 years ago, and I got him to be a fighting director in my short film Logro, and he brought up like one of his passions was music making and being a drummer for this band. And it's crazy. I think after a year, the year after that, you guys got signed, right? Was it a year or a few
Yeah.
months after it? Yeah. So tell me how you guys like start, because I remember you're from UAE, right? Like I
KSA.
mean, yeah. So how do you guys like got together and formed Vowels the Orbit?
Um, Basically, Nika and Hannah, the keyword
Mm-hmm.
is we're blockmates.
Uh-huh.
Tapos, Patch, the bassist, is same course then, Communication Arts sa UST, but higher batch, like
Mm-hmm.
4 years ahead of us. Tapos si Jean naman, yung lead namin, is my batchmate since grade 6 sa Saudi. Tapos sa UST din siya nag-aral. So, Sa UST pa lang, si Nika tsaka ako and Hannah, we joined this music org sa communication arts. That's where we met Patch then as the senior. But it's just ayun, it's just for students who love music talaga.
Yeah.
So actually it's a funny thing kasi kahit nung sa UST, si Hannah tsaka si Nika din yung groupmates ko pa nagpo-perform kami.
Oh,
Yeah, we
okay.
jam a lot. Sometimes we forced to, like, because we wouldn't choose our own group. Sometimes yung org leader, what do you call that, guild head,
Uh-huh.
would choose, and then parang we end up together with like jam. So yeah, and then
Ganun
go ahead.
siya.
I'm sorry.
Sige. Then after college, um, Nika went to Canada for like 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
But at that time, she kept on calling me every week kasi
Mm-hmm.
nga may work na naghihintay sa kanya dito sa Philippines. Tas na pag-usapan din namin na tuloy natin yung band kung
Mm-hmm.
uuwi din siya dito.
Yeah.
So she came back. Then ayun, I started messaging Jean, Hannah. Then Patch was the last piece. Then we started bago tayo mag-meet na nito, at the same time we started rehearsing dito sa Cavite
Oh,
every week.
okay. Yeah, yeah.
Medyo dikit, medyo sabay na siya.
Yeah.
Tapos yun, dire-diretso na yun.
Kind of
That was a
an accident because I wasn't supposed to come back here.
Oh yeah. Why'd
Yeah.
you come back to Manila?
Well, first of all, because of the job offer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still my job now. I got
Oh,
offered
with
a
Giggle.
copywriting job at
Uh-huh.
Eagle, yeah. And then I didn't know if I should accept it or not, but because it was there, I said yes. And then, ayun, sinabay ko din yung band. And that's what convinced me to come back.
Like how do you manage that, by the way? I think that's one of the things I'm interested in knowing, like with advertising life is definitely one hectic life. It's a
Yes.
time demanding,
Yes.
stress building environment. And especially with the band stuff, you guys have to do a lot of gigs, and a lot of these gigs are at night, right? And
Yeah.
Yes.
how do you manage both ends? It's just how do you manage focusing on your advertising and the same time giving segregating a time for your band?
I'll give you the scenario before all of this happened and like the
Mm-hmm.
current
Yeah,
scenarios. Like
for sure.
before, um, it wasn't like this before, but our agency kind of set up a schedule na at 5 p.m. or as early as 4:30 you can go wherever. Um,
Okay,
as long
that's
as you complete
convenient.
7-8 hours. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how I managed to go to my gigs at night.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi I would go to work early so that I can leave
Mm-hmm.
early. So that was my
Yeah.
technique. But then,
Yeah.
like you said, advertising, it's like 24/7. Like even if you're
Yeah.
out, even if it's past your work hours, they're still messaging you.
Exactly.
So I had to
Revisions and
deal with
stuff.
like working or taking calls pag nasa biyahe ako. Like
Mm-hmm.
Rem knows that I could barely talk to him sometimes when we're on a ride to the gig because I would be on the phone like
Yeah.
brainstorming or so basically it's just I just have to do it. Like I have no I mean I do have a choice to leave one or the other, but
Mm-hmm.
um one is my passion, one's my work. So I can't
Yeah.
really like just leave one or the other. It's just a matter of doing it. So
Yeah.
there would be times like after a gig, kailangan ko pang bumalik ng office.
Oh,
Or
really?
or when I'm home, I'd have to work at home. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, that was before. And then now, it's crazy kasi work from home, you'd think it'd be easier. Pero like meetings are back to back.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
then
Cause it's
what people are,
convenient.
yeah.
Yeah.
And what people are doing now or like let's say Rappler or Inquirer.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them require pre-recordings of our songs, so that
Oh,
takes
okay.
up like hours. I have to record
Yeah.
the song. I have to take myself, so it's kind of more tiring. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
after work,
Mm-hmm.
I do that naman. So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't really get to rest, but I just do it.
Do you even sleep
Basically.
still? Li- like uh I think what's crazy about that is just the hours dedicated for both. And what made you like pick to what made you like decide to actually go through that, put yourself through that, and keeping music like still in the lines of what you want to do? Especially like you have a bunch of accolades in advertising, couple of awards as as a copywriter, right? And a couple of
Yeah.
the ads that you've done. So what keeps you grounded in terms of making music still?
It's kind of like an escape, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like if I'm working all the time and I don't have this music thing going on,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'd be crazy, but it'd be different. So
Yeah.
it's sort of like, it's something, like I said, it's my passion. So it's something that I will keep on doing,
Mm-hmm.
even though, my head, I have like a part of me,
Yeah.
this advertising field. Yun.
Does like being a copywriter help out in any way, like creating lyrics for Vows the Orbit?
Lyrics wise,
Mm-hmm.
not so much kasi like how it's constructed isn't
Yeah.
really, like it's there are no rules.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean it's different. The writing process is different. Pero when it comes to like content for the band or
Yeah.
like music video ideas like what we
Yeah.
did, um uh anything that involves ideating, I
Mm-hmm.
think that's where I'm a big help for the band because
Yeah.
it's related to what I do at work.
Yeah. One thing I kind of want to know is the dynamic of your band. Like with my team, with my production house, for us to work, and the reason I feel like why we work with each other, is because our chemistry is pretty solid in terms of like my DP, my PD, producer, and all of that. We have this chemistry in a way that we get each other, and I feel like it has to be the same with any groups that exist. Let's say like a band. So what's the
Yeah.
dynamic with Vows the Orbit?
Hmm. Siguro it's it's the bonding that we had even before the band started. I think that's a big factor.
Yeah.
Um, Iba kasi yung may friendship na nabuo.
Mm-hmm.
There's already the structure, and of course when you're in a band or any group like sa amin, common naman is pag may fights or misunderstanding, may arguments, may
Yeah.
gunong parts. But kami kasi we're all what do you call this? Prangka. When someone gets offended somehow or nagkaroon ng misunderstanding. For example, ako kay Nika, may nasabi ako hindi maganda or pangit na approach, she would message me right away. As in, she's just gonna tell me, hindi ko nagustuhan yung ganito, ganito, ganito. Then we'll discuss it. Tapos na. Tas tuloy kami sa pag-craft. And pagdating naman sa paggawa ng music, what's interesting is si Nika yung pinaka-writer namin. We try to write as well, pero kasi iba pag gumawa si Nika. So, mas gets na namin agad yung process nung gusto niyang
Yeah.
mangyari. Like, she would call me sometimes
Mm-hmm.
8 a.m. tulog pa ako, siya on the way sa work. I wrote something, ganyan. Tapos ipaparinig niya. Then, pag
Uh-huh.
na-tripan ko na, pag nagustuhan ko, sabi ko, okay, what vibe do you want? What kind of beat ang gusto mo? Then she'll send her pegs. Then when
Uh-huh.
I try to think of a beat, I'll send it back to her na
Yeah.
may guitar na siyang ginawa. Then, pag okay na, ipapasa na namin sa rest ng band. Tapos, somehow, parang ano nga lang siya eh. Oh, eto, bang. Gawa niya ng
Yeah.
ganitong peg. Parang it's kaya may gunon, hindi naman dahil pinapabayaan. It's because we trust each other.
Yeah, definitely. Like you're working with
Ganun
artists,
yung,
you're not working like with people na you'll just instruct, diba? That's why
Yeah.
you have
yes,
yeah. It's like an orchestra na everyone has a contribution to a piece. And yeah, that's
yeah.
really cool that you mentioned that. And um I think what's crazy is when I heard you guys perform, it sounded exactly like the recording, and I think only heard a couple of people actually sound like that. Yeah, and I think that comes with the dynamic and how well you guys are like work together and how glued you guys are. Were you guys into music ever since before?
Um, Me, yeah, but not as young as I think Rem started before me. But
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in church, and my relatives were in the praise and worship team. So that's where I
Mm-hmm.
kind of got inspired. And my
Yeah.
brother also sings, so that's another thing. But
Yeah.
I remember like really being into R&B because of my kuya
Yeah.
starting the age like at age 8, I guess. And then I would listen to different bands,
Mm-hmm.
Christian bands included, and I was listening to, of course, Paramore and
Yeah.
Reliant K. And um, I started playing guitar at 10 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and then like the guitar playing came before singing actually,
Yeah.
and um everything else was like self-taught. I didn't really grow up like in a musical family. Hold on, I think Rem froze.
Oh, okay. I thought he was holding a pose. Wait, let's try. I'll
Um,
message him.
I'm back.
There.
I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
I
It's fine. Man.
apologize.
I think Nika, you were talking about how you learned the guitar at 10 years old.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was 10, but I
Mhm.
started learning notes first, like I was reading notes and all. The chords came later on when I was kind of learning by myself. So
Mhm.
the guitar playing like chords and like chord progression whatever
Mhm.
and singing was self-taught. I don't know if I mean I don't think singing is or how I learned it was
Yeah.
self-taught, quote unquote. It's
Uh huh.
kind of like something that runs in my family,
Oh, that's
but
cool.
like the interest came after that. Like
Mhm.
it wasn't something that started um way like when I was like 4 or something.
Yeah.
I
You work
say
towards
my
it.
my
Yeah.
official start at being interested in music was like 8 years old, I think.
It's still young though. It's so young.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you?
Yeah.
How about you, Jeremy?
Ako, I really started like early. Kasi my parents are both musicians as well. Sa choir sila actually. Then I grew up like starting to listen to Michael Jackson and all these old ballad songs that my parents used to listen and perform sa kahit sa house. Kasi it's like Barbara Streisand, those kind of singers, yung era na yun. Tapos my first instrument was playing the piano at age 6 or 7. It's not forced kasi I liked it as well. And as I grew up, I started playing this. I started playing yung mga love songs sa piano. Kasi notes din yung first experience ko with piano nga. Then I played the piano hanggang first year high school, around 12 years old I think.
Mhm.
But I stopped kasi sabi ko, ay, parang corny, hindi crush ng mga babae yung nagpa-piano. parang, parang yung mga, kasi that was the rise of the acoustic guitars eh.
Yeah,
Yan na yung
yeah.
start ng mga
I
emo
remember
songs
that.
eh.
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh, parang sabi ko, parang hindi cool. Sabi ko gano'n, ba't hindi ako crush ng mga girls?
Yeah, because
Parang mas
everyone's
type
looking
nila yung mga
yung mga
nag-guitar.
guitarista. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Pero going back, like,
Mhm.
this is the weirdest thing, not really weird, pero sa iba siguro.
Yeah.
Grade 5 was the time I discovered some music channels sa TV,
Okay.
like MTV and Trace. So I started listening to R&B and pop,
Uh-huh.
the era of Chris Brown, Kanye West,
I
T-Pain,
see.
yung mga
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
bagong
The new,
generation na
yeah.
yun.
At that point, it was the new wave of hip hop. Yeah.
Yes. Gulat ako parang, ayos yung mga beat nito ah. Sean Kingston, mga
Uh-uh.
Beautiful Girl, kind of songs. Then, tapos like biglang sumingit yung, kasi I have friends from upper batches. I
Mm-hmm.
started listening to these rock songs na pinapatugtog nila sa school.
Yeah.
And it was Slipknot, Bullet for My Valentine, Metallica. So sabi ko, I like this one better. Sabi ko ganun. So at grade 5, grade 6, I have those kind of songs sa phone ko. And before, wala pang speakers nun because it's expensive. Yun yung piniplay ko sa bahay and sa car. And my parents were so mad at me. The common line na, demonyo ka ba?
That's true. They didn't understand that type of music back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they were actually worried at some point. Kasi nga,
Mm-hmm.
sabihin na natin, yung mga gunong genre talaga is, it's really scary for young children.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Pero it's part of the process eh.
Yeah.
Yun yung naging ano niya eh. As I, yun, hanggang pagdating na ng high school,
Mm-hmm.
yung alternative medyo dumating, the script,
Yeah.
Maroon 5 got its peak. Kasi
Mm-hmm.
sa Saudi, I mean, hindi ko pa masyado ma-embrace yung OPM since international yung mga ano. It's just kung ano yung every year, every after school year, some of us will go na magvi-vacation dito sa Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
Tapos babalik sa school. So kung ano yung uso sa Philippines, dadalhin dun sa
I
Saudi. Oy, ito
see.
yung mga bagong banda ngayon.
Uh-huh.
It was
Yeah,
Silent
that's cool.
Sanctuary,
Yeah.
yung mga ganun. Until
That's cool.
college, I learned about the indie scene and everything from Miles'
Yeah.
experience until yun na.
You know, one dynamic or one thing that really stands out, like when I met you, was how similar like your drumming is in terms of how you can relate it to what you do. Like you train how to fight, or you train MMA,
Yeah,
or yeah,
yeah.
right. It's like you have to keep on, need to be on beat, you have to be on your timings and all of that. Like what got you like I remember one of our first few conversations was your main goal back then was to be like to continuously fight, right? Like to be like this
To be
uh
pro.
to be pro, yeah. um and then we I saw recently you've been posting your old trainings videos, and you're currently like working out again, right, towards like trying to fight. Yeah. What led you before to get to be interested in fighting and doing MMA? Was it MMA or was it Muay Thai? MMA, right?
Yung it's MMA.
MMA.
The fight was just Muay Thai, but
Yeah.
I really want to be an MMA fighter. Um, because before kasi I was really small.
Mm-hmm.
As in, ako yung like the smallest of the bunch sa batch namin. And we always the school who bullying so much.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of related to bullying. I was
Yeah.
not really bullied fully, but
Yeah.
I was threatened by someone, and I told my mom about it.
Mm-hmm.
Tapos nagalit siya kasi I took karate classes na before fifth
Mm-hmm.
grade. I started just for 2 years, then I stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Tapos after that scenario, my mom got mad at me. Sabi niya, bumalik ka na ng training. So
Mm-hmm.
I resumed my karate training. And at the same time, I was introduced to UFC.
I see.
That was second year high school. And ever since I
I think that was a rise as well of
started
UFC.
watching UFC, sabi ko,
Yeah.
damn, parang shit, ang ganda. Ang
Yeah.
galing. Yeah. Sabi ko,
Yeah.
you're just gonna kick ass to get tons of money. So naging addiction ko yung UFC.
Uh-huh.
And actually naging fight din namin yan ng parents ko kasi even on weekdays before school, instead of studying in the morning before going to school, the TV is on and I'm watching UFC. So they were kind of mad about it. But and Actually, ever since I promised my parents I will be a UFC fighter. So they always had this deal. First of all, sabi nila, pasok ko muna ng college, kailangan makapag-college ka. So, okay, nakapasok ako ng college. Then, nagkaroon lalo ako ng freedom to train MMA sa Philippines. Kasi sa Saudi, limited lang. So, dito, I had connections, I had contacts, nakakapag-train ako. But, syempre, yung parents ko was, kailangan makapagtapos ka muna.
Yeah,
May
yeah.
bagong deal na naman sila. So, tinapos ko.
Mm-hmm.
Then, sabi ko sa kanila, you got to let me fight. Sabi
Yeah.
ko, natapos ko lahat ng deal
You've been
nyo.
training for so
Then,
long at
that
that
fight,
point already, right?
yes,
Uh-huh.
kasi I have no permanent home before nung college.
Mm-hmm.
Even though after school year, yung summer class, kasi meron ako, naka-dorm lang ako.
Okay.
And nandun yung isang MMA dojo
Mm-hmm.
just in front of UST.
That's
Then believe me or
convenient.
not,
Mm-hmm.
for 1 month, 1 to 2 months nung summer class ko, every day, I go to class at 11 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
Tapos yung 4 to 9 p.m. ko, training every day.
Damn. Even Sundays?
Every day.
5 hours.
Except Sundays. Except
Oh, okay, okay.
Sundays.
My God.
Kasi it's close. But if it's open, I'm gonna be there for sure.
Yeah. So it's an addiction talaga, no?
It's an addiction kasi I have this dream of ano eh, becoming one of the best and not the scariest, but one of the best, one of the most respected fighters. And of course,
Yeah.
one of the richest.
Of course, yeah, yeah.
Of
that
course.
story is kind of like
It's
GSP story. Like he was bullied, right, for a while, and then that's the main reason
yeah.
why he got into MMA. Um is with that being said, is that still like your goal right now, be a UFC fighter?
Um, the door is still open for it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna close it. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna say it's too late. It's
Uh-huh.
just
You're still
when the
young,
time
man.
is right.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the time is definitely right.
Are you gonna have like Nika or any of your bandmates involved in like training, sparring? Have you tried that?
Oh, it's no. I try, but I'm pretty sure it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Will not.
Did they get to watch your fight though? The one that you had, I saw a video. You really kicked ass, man.
It was far away. It's far
Mm-hmm.
away from them, but they gave their support naman.
He invited
Okay na
us,
sa akin yun.
but I forgot what I was doing that day.
Uh
But
huh.
I remember him inviting us to watch.
Yeah.
It was scary, bro. That fight, but it was memorable. It was very memorable. Not really, kasi I didn't prepare for the last week
Uh huh.
because I kind of got depressed
Mm-hmm.
because of something.
Yeah.
So I didn't train for the last week where it's
Damn.
very crucial.
Yeah.
As in, like the whole week before the fight, I was just lying down sa
Mm-hmm.
house, and my coach kept calling me, "Huy, nasaan ka? Ba't di ka nagka-training? Ganyan, ganyan." Then like he started to tell me na it's okay to back out if you're not ready, ganyan, ganyan. But my dad talked to me and you've been training your whole life. Pinagbigyan ka na namin. This is your chance to know if this is really your dream. So ayun, lumaban ako ng saktong preparation lang. It's really weird kasi I didn't get the chance to see my opponent even
Oh,
no weigh-in.
so just the
I
day
saw
na
my
lang.
opponent, not just the day, as
Yeah.
soon as I stepped into the ring, tsaka ko lang siya
Oh
nakita.
my god.
And it's this fat dude who's, I'm sure, is more than 60 kilos.
How did that work then for the weigh-ins?
The weigh-in was bullcrap.
Oh my god. Y-
The
Um,
weigh-in was, the weigh-in was a week before.
damn.
The day we shot Logro,
Oh, okay. Oh wait, how did you do your
I
weigh-in
went,
then?
um, di ba, we met at around 1 to 2 p.m. if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken.
Yeah.
And the event kasi, yung weigh-in is in Caloocan.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to Caloocan sa morning. Then after the weigh-in, tumakbo na ako pabalik ng Cavite.
Oh my
Then
god.
tsaka niyo ako
Thank
sinundo.
you for doing that. Y-
Dude, it's for the passion too.
yeah.
It's for
kind
the
of
passion.
going back like to the music. Did or to relate it to this right now, it's just like, did doing MMA affect like music making in any way? I'm not sure if there's a certain connection there, but there might be. So did it?
There is
Mm-hmm.
actually that's a very good question kasi um yung sa MMA,
Mm-hmm.
it's not just kicking and punching and stuff.
Yeah.
Pero kasi you have to practice the footwork, you have to
Yeah.
practice your reflexes. It's all
Exactly.
about critical thinking and analyzation.
Yeah.
Parang ganun siya. So, ang maganda doon, yung rhythm ko sa MMA, yung
Mm-hmm.
footworks ko and all, yung beat, naging effect siya in a way sa pagtugtog ko na naging sakto lahat,
Hey, that's
naging
cool.
accurate.
Yeah.
Y- yun nga lang, sometimes yung pangit is, ay sometimes yung effect ng workout with
Mm-hmm.
my playing, sumusobra yung power.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi I punch the bag, nagwe-weights
Yeah.
ako. Tapos pag may gig, nawawala ako ng control.
Gets,
As in,
gets.
bang! It's aggressive
Yeah.
in a way. But yun, puro more on physical yung ano niya. More on physical
In
yung
contribution, yeah.
contribution.
I see.
For example, sa drummer, endurance
That's
and
true.
stamina.
Yeah.
So, ina-achieve ko yun sa MMA.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. Like talking about like your performances or gig life, what do you think the landscape of the music industry is right now with how gigs are, and what do you guys think will happen after this whole quarantine with do you think there's going to be a change in terms of performances?
I feel like there will definitely be a change, but like we can't see what it will
Mm-hmm.
be exactly. But there's this country that's
Mm-hmm.
doing drive-in concerts right now. I
Okay.
forgot
What's that like?
which
Uh-huh.
one. So like you know
I
how
saw that article.
like how drive-in cinemas work back in the day,
Yeah.
where you bring your car and that's how it's going on. Like only the artists are on stage and then people watch. They drive in
To their
to watch.
car. Yeah, that's
Yeah, but I
cool.
don't know if that's possible here.
That'll be really
Baka
cool.
dito like mama to or mama bike. That would be cool too. But like I feel like
That'll be dope, yeah.
yeah, if there will be any changes talaga when gigs start, I feel
Mm-hmm.
like we the audience will have to practice social distancing. Like I feel
Yeah.
like that's one
I
thing.
think it would be hard to like for people to dance with each other because there's like this
Yeah,
awkward
it's so
spaces.
sad.
Yeah. Um, I think just in terms of the band, right? You guys were already playing beforehand, like in college, and then transitioning to after college, and then when you got signed. What do you think the main difference is in terms of being signed and without and not being signed without having a label to back you up?
Well, one thing is that when you're under a management or a label,
Mm-hmm.
things are more restricted. But I believe it's like for the good of the band. There are things
Mm-hmm.
that they know that we would have never thought of if it were just us. So
Mm-hmm.
um, in that sense, like we have this guardian or I mean, mostly positive naman yung change.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I wouldn't, kasi we did start as like, you know, indie talaga na no management. It was just us. Like
Yeah.
the team would be passed to
Yeah.
any of us members, 5 members, and we had this like Google sheet where we calculated what we earned and we split it evenly. We had a fund for ourselves. So like all of that, like that's what they're doing for us now. So
Mm-hmm.
imagine na parang um like you mentioned earlier, what we talked about earlier, grabe na yung work ko.
Mm-hmm.
But if we still had to do that, if we had to manage ourselves,
Yeah.
parang it
It
would
won't
be
be
so hard.
attainable. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like one difference from that. But like another thing is Of course, the music.
Mm-hmm.
We I don't think we could have made it this far, like especially for Celos,
Mm-hmm.
if it weren't for our label and our management. Then
Yeah. I think one thing that kind of got me hooked into you guys' name, Vowels the Orbit. It's something really unusual in terms of when you hear it. So I think I want to dive into like what's the meaning behind the name of the band.
Um, dapat ano lang yan, the vowels.
Uh-huh.
Yun lang siya dapat. Kasi, I don't know, sini kaya tayo nag-isip. It's just, wala, the fact na vowels is five, lima kami, and sa alphabet, yun yung unique. Kasi sila lang. But we tried searching um, the vowels sa Spotify. Meron, may lumabas. So sabi namin, di pwede yan. Tapos, we have this thought kasi whenever we practice and produce songs here
Mm-hmm.
sa Cavite, di ba nakita mo, maganda yung sky lagi sa gabi,
Yeah.
parang stargazing yung feels. And ganun yung naging feeling namin na whenever we play, we feel like we're floating in space. And
Oh,
at the same
okay.
time kasi most of the time it's Nika and Hannah playing outside my house at night.
Mm-hmm.
So nagkaroon ng connection sa stars. So yun, iniisip namin, lagyan natin ng something na related sa planets or whatever.
and
Yeah.
So
the
nilagyan namin ng orbit.
the music
Makes
itself,
sense.
diba? Like
Yeah.
especially
Yeah,
Kiliti, we really had
kiliti.
fun with it in a way. No, we wanted it to feel like we were floating.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we related the the band name to that. And some people think it's like it came from a book. Is it like
Uh-huh.
literature? Is it a line from a poem? Can
Yeah, it
anybody?
sounds yeah,
But
it sounds like really
it's
deep if you like really like the vowels the orbit. If you think about it, it can be like a book naming it. That actually that's correct. Or even like this, like it can be like an art film, like a title to an art film or something.
if it was grammatically correct, dapat
Uh-huh.
may comma siya after the
Uh-huh.
vowels. So the vowels, they
Okay.
orbit pertaining to the vowels, us orbiting.
Yeah.
But then we had to remove the comma
Yeah.
because in posters, big
So,
posters, it's hard because
Yeah,
it looks
that's
like two
true.
bands.
That makes sense. That makes sense. At least you have artistic license to remove it anyway. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But
um.
sobrang challenge siya before.
Uh huh.
Kasi when we were new, wala pang management and label. Like, hindi kami nilalagay sa mga signs kasi
Yeah.
masyadong mahaba.
Oh,
Tapos,
okay.
yung friends ko, alin kayo dyan? The vowels o the orbit? Kasi, pag pinapaskill, because it's too long sa mga parang posters and yung mga signboards ka
Uh
sa
huh.
venues. Parang the vowels, tapos the orbit na sa baba.
They separated pa.
and
Oo,
like
Damn.
even when we entered Soupstar sa
Mm-hmm.
management, the senior bands, haba naman ang pangalan nyo. Yun lagi sinasabi nila.
but we kept it. Actually, si Bullet,
Yeah, we can.
naalala ko nung UP Fair,
Uh huh.
sabi niya, the vowels they orbit what? Like, they sometimes they expect like more.
Yeah, yeah.
It's already long, but they expect more
To
words.
continue, exactly. Like I think they're expecting an actual sentence rather than a phrase.
Yeah.
Diving into your songs, let's say Kiliti and Celos, it's mostly about it's you guys like make songs about love, definitely. And for me, it has a unique perspective in terms of where the song is coming from. I kind of want to know uh what led you to diving into those themes in your craft and in the music that you produce.
Well, first of all, for
Mhm.
Telos, our first single, we weren't the ones who wrote it. Sir Darwin
Mhm.
did, our manager. So he also wrote Torete. He wrote
Mhm.
other songs of Six Cycle Mind, like I and Biglaan, those songs. And
Uh-huh.
that, so parang going into a song that you didn't write like especially for me since I usually write the songs,
Yeah.
challenging, but parang like you said, although we do have these songs about love,
Mhm.
we didn't want it. Actually, we put this in our minds. Now we didn't want it to sound like a typical ballad or like
Mhm.
love song with just
Yeah.
parang the simple arrangement. Pero there's nothing wrong if ever there's nothing
That's
wrong
your
with those
thing.
kinds of songs.
Yeah.
Pero us personally in our band, parang we wanted na okay, Celos is about someone who's jealous of her boyfriend and something going on. Parang she's seeking
Mhm.
attention. Ganyan. But the way we approached it in arrangement kind of di naman contrast, pero
Mhm.
it's not like if you hear the instrumental, you wouldn't think na okay, selos to. Okay, malungkot to, 'di ba?
Yeah, yeah.
So, so in terms of our mindset while arranging, we don't limit ourselves to like what the meaning of the song is without
Mhm.
the music pa. Does it make sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like so that's it for Celos. Pero for Kiliti and I wrote this. So starting from the writing process,
Mhm.
like um kasi Tagalog isn't my first language.
Uh-huh.
So if you like break down the lyrics, very simple siya, straightforward.
Mhm.
But then again, I didn't want it to sound like I was writing a love letter or something. Kasi
Yeah.
Kiliti isn't really supposed to be a sad song and it's not really supposed to be like a love song talaga. It's
Mhm.
really something na happy lang if you think about the message, like even though Tadhana isn't letting us be together, we'll do
Yeah.
whatever we want. Diba? Parang so it's more like if we're given this topic, we want to do more with it. Parang ganon siya.
That makes sense.
Like
Yeah.
if I were given hello, sorry. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
Go lang.
Okay, okay. So basically, yun nga, if we're given a topic that's related to love, for
Mhm.
example, if like it's right here, parang we want to do something more to
On
that so that
elevated.
it's not
Yeah.
limited to that initial meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope that made sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It's just like I think what's unique about it is like even like let's say with Celos, I guess like one thing I kind of want to know specifically with that song is having a piece or having a material that you guys didn't write. How do you develop a certain sense of attachment to it or a certain sense of uh, relatability to you and as like the band, since you guys are the ones that's gonna be performing it a lot and like having it as your single.
That's a good
Um,
one. Sorry, sorry.
hindi, sige, sige.
Yeah.
Ano siya eh. Actually, I don't know kung nahirapan kami. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
bragging about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Pero kasi the time Sir Darwin forwarded the sample and yung ginawa ni Nika, parang may sinabi lang siya eh. Gusto ko may ganitong feel. Tapos
Mm-hmm.
there's this first yung intro,
Yeah.
the first beat that I made. Yun mismo yung kung ano yung narinig mo sa recording na beat, yung intro
Mm-hmm.
na yun. Yun na talaga yung una kong naisip. And
Okay.
supposedly, that beat started pa lang sa first verse ng intro. As in yung binabaliw, dapat doon na siya.
Mm-hmm.
Tapos, when Sir Darwin heard it, sabi niya, gusto ko may bounce dun sa magpapalipas ako ng oras eh. Tapos, parang bigla lang nagkaroon ako ng instinct na, sige sir, nilipat ko dun. Ganun lang. Because it was really fast on how we finished arranging Celos.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but
It just
sinikab,
clicked ba?
may nakapila silang ideas ni Hana.
Uh-huh.
Tapos parang, um, parang, sige nga, lagay mo ng ganitong melody.
Yeah.
Tapos, simple, but sound namin. That's what we love about it.
Mm-hmm.
Tapos, what I actually love about Celos is when Nika told us na maglagay tayo ng harmony, ng blending.
Mm-hmm.
Di ba yung selos, selos,
Yeah.
selos, yung part na yun parang um, nasa utak ko kasi nun parang shit, gusto ko parang may Bohemian Rhapsody vibe na Queen na may
Yeah.
harmony na para iba.
Uh-huh.
Para iba siya. Tapos, when we went to the studio to record it na, doon ako na goosebumps kasi nagawa namin yung, sabi ko, shit, ito yung tunog na gusto namin mangyari.
Yeah.
But
Ganun lang siya.
Mm-hmm.
to add to that, like you said, even though there's not that relatability to the message, like hindi naman ako selosa, diba?
Uh-huh.
Parang it's really the attachment comes from the process that we did when creating the song. Like we're really attached to it because we worked hard on it, you know.
Yeah,
Parang
yeah.
whenever we play it, it's like, you know, parang we did this, guys, diba?
Uh-huh.
So even though, like I said, there's not that we can't relate to it 100%, that doesn't
Mm-hmm.
mean that our emotions aren't there like 100%. Like we're
Yeah.
attached to it because of the process that went into it.
Yeah, you guys were mentioned about the harmonies in the song. I remember seeing that in your gig, and that sounded crazy. And like I think it sounded like crazy, especially live. And I think to dive into your what was it, right? Your next single was Kilite, no? Is that
Yes.
correct? Yeah. Diving into Kilite, I think we worked on the music video together, and there were a bunch of how do I word it? There were a bunch of things that happened, like that led up to it. And I remember when I was talking to Jeremy about it, even prior to making the song, there was already a bunch of stories with the whole
Oh
creation of
yeah.
it. Yeah, I want you guys to like dive into it. Like what happened when you guys were making the music.
Go.
It was really crazy.
Uh huh.
Kasi dapat yung first single namin is Kiliti.
Uh huh.
That's the plan. Kasi it's our first original song
Yeah.
that Nika wrote na amin talaga.
Mm-hmm.
So, yung unang araw ng recording was to record Kiliti and the three other songs, not including Celos,
Uh huh.
sa Kodama studio with Shinji. Then, I started recording Kiliti on drums, tapos nagawa na ni Hana yung keys, si Nika nagawa na yung acoustic guitars.
Mm-hmm.
Pagdating sa lead, nasira yung saksakan.
Oh my
So
god.
we had to call it off. We had to call it off. Kasi wala na kaming magagawa.
Yeah.
So okay, that was on a Monday. Celos was scheduled to be recorded Saturday.
Yeah.
So, nirecord namin yung Celos nung Saturday. This is where things got parang wow, what the
Yeah.
fuck happened? Kasi when we recorded Celos, natapos namin yung Celos. Natapos namin siya. And right after recording Celos, Saturday,
Uh huh.
Monday ulit dapat yung recording ng vocals ng Kiliti.
Yeah.
But right after Celos, nung umuwi na kami ni Nika, the next day, nagkasakit kami.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So na-delay siya ng na-delay.
Yeah.
And the deadline for the submission of the song, sobrang lapit na.
Yeah.
So we had to switch.
Oh, okay. That's
So yun
why.
yung naisip namin
Okay.
na
Okay.
pinaglalaroan talaga kami ng tadhana.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was just the first part. Like this
Uh
was
huh.
only for the song process. But
Uh huh.
then during the music video, from pre-prod until the shoot, ang dami ding nangyari, di ba? Like, you
Yeah.
guys know that. You know that firsthand. Like,
Yeah. That was crazy. The
the
guitarist,
initial,
right?
yeah, the initial, well, the idea is still there, but like
Yeah.
most of the scenes that were initially planned were um, improvised last minute.
Yeah. Exactly.
So there's something with this song that's pretty
I
crazy.
know. I don't know if it Tadhana messing with it or yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember we were me and my team just got off a meeting. This is the day before we shot it. And was it correct? The guitarist went to the hospital, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and then I think
Yes.
which is crazy because it's really he's really essential in terms of the shoot because the whole band is seen throughout the entire music video, and
Yeah.
like having that, like having him not being part, kind of forced like creative juices to come out and how to like find a way to make it happen. And I think it was very funny how we had Jeremy just like face backwards play the guitar. Yeah. Yeah,
This
but
is the first place we'll talk about it actually.
yeah.
So, um, and it's funny because not a lot of people noticed that.
Yeah,
And there's
yeah.
someone that actually has a crush on Jean and thought that that was Jean. And like when she would share our promotions, she would be like, "Harap ka naman," or stuff like that. Laughing because that's not Jean.
That was
That's
really that was
Jeremy.
that was a fun shoot. And I remember specifically while we were shooting that scene, like Jeremy was really vibing. He was really like feeling the chords of the song.
Pero
It's very, contradicting kay Jean because Jean doesn't do that.
oh my
But
gosh.
that was a fun shoot though. Like I think it was I think I mean, it was really hot, especially like when with for some reason we were surrounded by a lot of plants, a lot of trees and all that, but the humidity was just crazy. I think um the air was really dry at some point, which I don't know why. I mean, one thing
Yeah.
that's great about it at least is good thing the actors they didn't get sweaty in a lot of the shots and all of that. Yeah, it was definitely a memorable shoot because uh I think it's one of the lengthiest like music video shoots like I've done from really early. I think we started at 7 a.m. and then we ended to it like at
Yeah.
night towards like the sun not being there. Kind of have to like recreate like the sun in terms of some scenes. And
Yes.
I think what I kind of want to ask is in terms of doing music videos and all of that, since you're a copywriter, you've dealt with so much production houses, have experiences on set and all of that. Um, what what contributions do you have in terms of gathering those experiences and putting it into like visual, in terms of the visual for the band? So how did your experiences in advertising help towards like making like, music videos and stuff?
It influenced it a lot, like in terms of crafting, I would
Mm-hmm.
say. Kasi in advertising or in Gigil specifically,
Mm-hmm.
like if you guys are familiar, diba, parang we have a lot of crazy ads that you wouldn't actually think of at first. So that
Yeah.
means our thinking process for that was not settling for things that are just okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we, if when we have ideas, we think this is good.
Mm-hmm.
Parang hindi pa rin yun good. We have to keep thinking until it's the
Yeah.
best. So that kind of affects like how I come up with creative things for the band, like even
Mm-hmm.
for music videos. So I know, I mean, it can be annoying sometimes to my bandmates or to people that we work with kasi
Uh-huh.
it's something that I've developed. Parang, I know this can look better. I know this can be better.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't we do it? Like, I
Yeah.
don't care if we will push ourselves more as long
Yeah.
as the output is the best. So, I mean, the best given like the resources, of course. It's not like
Mm-hmm.
I will make someone spend so much just because you get this output. It's really
Yeah,
working with
yeah.
what we have
Yeah.
and then making it something really nice. So parang, yun, I don't like to settle for things that are okay.
I think one of the main differences when I work with you guys for Kilite and with the other artists I've worked with is I remember when I first saw the concept deck or treatment deck. It's the first time I saw the band make a concept deck and then have it like yeah, yeah. Usually they just since a lot of the artists I work with they're not really like visual. They just have certain ideas, they lay it out and be like, okay, here's what I have and let's see what we can work on it. And I think what made it kind of easy making that music video is how specific you guys are in terms of what you guys want. And for me, that's just the respect that that that's needed in terms of creating something, especially for another artist. Because the way I see music videos and how it should be is, yes, it's creating like a visual art, but at the same time, you have to respect the idea of the artist, because especially when they were making the song, they already seeing some things in like come into play visually, even if it's very little. And for me, music
Yeah.
video stands as like a visualizer to the song, so it should go hand in hand in terms of meaning, interpretation, even if it's completely distant from each other. As long as this is what the artist sees, that's what's supposed to happen with like the music and the video, to go like hand in hand and to actually work together. And for me, it's one of
Yes.
actually my favorite mediums of creating like videos, because I remember I was having conversation with in my last episode, I was talking to Top, and I remember we were just talking about how the difference is with advertising, film, music videos, and all of that. And like
Yeah.
with film and like music videos, this is kind of like your outlet for your soul. Like, this is the time where you can actually go crazy. You can put out your ideas,
Mhm.
and you don't have a client, so you don't have. I mean, you do have a technical client, but the client is more of a collaborator, less
Yeah.
than a client, and more of a artist that you're working with. And I think that's one thing that's like really great with the local scene right now in terms of music videos, is that music videos are just getting better and better. Like towards the day, you're seeing like a lot of
That's
these,
true.
yeah, like especially like if you've seen the music videos back then, or even just a couple of years back, it's way different to how it looked now. Even just like 2 years ago, it looks way
Yeah.
different now. I think that comes with people treating music videos as an actual medium, not just a side thing. I guess to wrap it up, if you guys have any uh advice to give to young artists of any kind, music, film, contemporary art, if you guys have any suggestions or any advice you want to give them, the floor is yours to say what you want.
All right. Sige. My advice to aspiring artists
Or
in
fighters,
all
go lang.
forms of art or fighters as well, keep on practicing, and especially this quarantine period, it's the best for me. It's the best time for you to explore and be creative,
Mm-hmm.
kasi you get to yun nga, everything's accessible.
Mm-hmm.
So most of these aspiring ones, kasi they're young, most of them are students. So basically nakaharap sila sa technology. So
Yeah,
why not use it also
that's true.
to search and learn new things. Yun lang. And just keep on practicing. Practice makes perfect. That's a real line.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's okay if you don't get it right the first time. Like even us, I mean, we're not 100% confident all the time, diba? Parang, but we just do it because we want to do it and we want people to see it. We want people to hear it. So, like for those people that are hesitant to release whatever they have or show the world whatever art they have, it's okay because it's normal to not get it right the first time or to
Mm-hmm.
make mistakes along the way. Parang it's really part of the process. So yeah, just keep doing what you guys are doing.
Hey.
Yun.
Do you guys have anything to plug or any releases coming soon? Any singles?
Go ahead.
You could follow us on our social media. That's the Vowels, the Orbit on Facebook, and for Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, it's at the VTO.
Hey,
Yes,
TikTok.
we have a TikTok account now. And of course, you could follow us on our individual accounts.
Mm-hmm.
Me, at Jeremy Sayas for both Twitter and Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Ini just search Nicaragua, NikkaraguaaA. And we will be releasing a new single very soon, as well as an EP. So that's 5 tracks.
Nice.
Yeah,
Hey, I can't wait to hear what you guys will be creating, especially for the EP. Can't wait to hear that body of work. Thank you guys
thank
so much
you.
for being part of this. It was a really great episode. We got to touch so
Thank
much
you,
things
Kani.
from
Thank you,
fighting
Kani.
Much. Had
to
fun.
music and
Had fun.
advertising. Yeah, I think it's crazy.
Thank you.